Hey guys, welcome to your daily December download. We're in the last days here. Let's make the most of it. While on my way to the new year and recovering from a very messy sleep schedule from a very messy vacation, I got to thinking, why do fandoms always seem to hate the franchises they supposedly love? I know that's a weird thing to say, but if you've been on online discourse at all, and if you haven't, I envy you, it always seems that the people who are supposed to be the advocates for the franchise are the people who have the most negative things to say about it at all times. Whether the negative thing is justified or just a nitpick, they're always ready to chomp at the bit. There seems to be there seems to be a disconnect there. And I think the reason why this happens is two things. Number one, sometimes these people aren't actually fans. Sometimes they're just professional complainers, and they complain about everything. They complain about every little thing from every franchise, from everything. They're not actually fans. They like complaining. And they just complain and nitpick, and that's it. You'll never hear them talking about anything positive. They will only talk about all the things that they hate. They will never talk about anything good. Those people, we can ignore them, throw them out. And then there's the second group of people. There are some people, like, I tend to think of My Hero fans of this. There are people who are fans of something because it was popular, not because they actually hopped in on it. And that's why they don't actually interact with it on any sort of level above surface level, and if it's not constant action, it's all filler, blah 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 blah. My Hero gets a really bad rep from people who are very casual fans of it, because as someone who's been a fan since 2015, 2016, before the first season of the anime came out, I've been a fan of the My Hero Academia, and I'm enjoying the manga. I'm enjoying what's happening. Obviously, and I understand what's going on. But if you look on the casual end, most people would tell you, oh yeah, My Hero fell off and stuff. But they used to be, they either used to be My Hero fans, or they are My Hero fans in quotation marks, or they just are shonen bros who hop to whatever series is the most hype or most interesting that season. Right now, the big hype show is Jujutsu Kaisen. Trust me, if Jujutsu Kaisen becomes no longer the most popular show on the market, they will jump ship to another one. But then let's get into the real problem. The real problem. And now we got the misconceptions out of the way. There's the fans. The real, actual fans. See, I'm a Sonic fan, and I'm a Spider-Man fan, so my feed the last few weeks, months, have been filled with Sonic and Spider-Man debates. Usually Sonic takes up a majority of it, and Sonic's debates are usually relatively stupid. It's people arguing semantics and then thinking they're arguing objectively, or arguing about whether Sonic is more American or Japanese, when objectively we're not even objectively. I almost said this. Sorry, I said that word. But you can interpret him however you want, because he was made to be malleable for a bunch of different markets. That's how he was made. You can't just take one interpretation. People have been arguing about this for 30 years. It's not worth the air anymore. So so Sonic fans are having their own debates. But the thing is, at least with Sonic fans, I've noticed that they will, when someone attacks from outside the fan base, they will tend to group together and hey, we may hate this franchise, but we hate you more. You don't get to talk shit about it. You're not talking shit about it correctly. So there at least seems to be that. But with Spider-Man fans, a thing that I've been noticing, especially with the release of Spider-Man 2, is that people are more willing to talk about just the negatives, or just the things that they didn't like. But I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about what they did like. And the thing is, if you were just to look at the Twitter landscape right now, you would think Spider-Man 2 was a trash game. It was bad. It was a travesty. No one should have bought it. It was a huge disappointment. When it's not. Kind of on a baseline, it's at least at bare minimum a solid game. At bare minimum, it's good. Personally, I would say it's better than the first game in a lot of ways. But the thing is, Spider-Man fans have only been kind of tearing the game apart. But in a weird way, they only talk about characters. Like, a lot of Venom fans are mad about how Venom was handled, or they talk about the like story pacing or Peter characterization or Miles characterization, or we still talk about Miles' suit and all those things that can be actual genuine criticism thrown around for reasonable basis. Like there's a general thing for criticism, but I don't hear anyone talking about the positives. And I think why this happens in fandoms, or at least why this happens in general, is sometimes not even that the fandom hates the thing that they like. It's a common joke to say, man, Spider-Man fans don't like Spider-Man, Sonic fans don't like Sonic, all those things. And the reason why that happens is because negativity is super easy to spread on the platform. If I were to make a video title or even a tweet about Spider-Man 2 being an amazing game that I really liked, and that had a lot and talked about only the positives and maybe some minor negatives about the things about the game. I'm not a big account, but I've seen a lot of the people who are tweeting this stuff aren't big accounts either. But if I tweet those things, they aren't going to get much traction. Most people will either silently agree or maybe like it, but most people aren't going to comment. When you say something negative, that starts an argument. So then that creates a very odd feedback loop of you get more engagement the more people argue with you, so it's okay to talk. It's more inclined for you to talk about negative content because more people are going to talk or agree or disagree and blah 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 blah, and that becomes a feedback loop, and now everyone's talking negatively about this thing that they supposedly like. So then it becomes all you hear. So it's partly a fault, less with fandoms in general and more with how social media works. And it's not even partially social media's fault, it's how people work. People are going to interact with things that are more negative to them. I fall for it, you fall for it, everyone falls for it. You see something that pisses you off, you click on it and go like, nuh-uh. It's like, it doesn't matter. If I were to make a video about Spider-Man 2, I love the game. I'm not going to entitle it something that's going to be like, man, I either have to be super hyperbolic and say Spider-Man 2 is a masterpiece, or I have to say Spider-Man 2 is a flawed masterpiece, or something controversial, a controversial masterpiece, or it's like Spider-Man 2, it's like a messy amalgamation, or something like that. Like, I already have the title for my Sonic Frontiers video in my head about Sonic Frontiers is broken. People are gonna click on that, and it's not, again, not, and that's where it comes from. It comes from that negativity is way more pushed in algorithms everywhere more than positivity. So it doesn't matter how solid something is or how good something is on a base level. If people have complaints, those complaints are going to come up to the surface. Fans are going to have very, very specific nitpick complaints because they care about the details. That's why they're fanboys of a franchise. It's like they're going to have very specific things that are going to bother them, and so they're going to say those things out loud. Those things get spread. Everyone else thinks that these are real problems, so that some people who are easily influenced believe it, so they regurgitate those opinions. Some people who never played the game or interacted with it will regurgitate opinions of other people, things that they've said, and add their own flair onto it, thinking that it applies to everything else. We were literally just arguing on Twitter about spider sense existing in the game as either a game mechanic or just in cutscenes. Okay, a little side tangent with Spider-Man 2. I know Spider-Man 2. I just gotta say, I think a lot of people who are Spider-Man fans don't play video games, and I think they just play this one because there were so many people who did not get the difference of there's a game mechanic that they have to have. Like, people complain about, oh, why does Kraven have an army? Because you need an army for mooks in a video game. It's why Venom has an army, so you have mooks in a video game. We need those so we can fight enemy types. It's like, it doesn't work otherwise. But, they're not going to hear that. They're like, oh, but it doesn't fit the character. Oh, no. Or like, oh, Spider-Man has spider sense in gameplay, but like in cutscenes it doesn't activate, and sometimes it's like, oh, how come you didn't dodge everything? Or it's stupid. Anyway, that's a side tangent. Anyway, core point. Fandoms usually aren't super actually that negative. It's that positive parts of fandoms are not going to be shown to the mass public unless your fandom's really small and there isn't anyone talking about anything negative in the first place. A fandom I'm a part of is the Gintama fandom. Gintama is a really small niche thing. In Japan it's big, but over here it's pretty niche. So if you hear anyone talk about Gintama, they're going to try and sell you the positives, because we want more people to like our thing. So we're going to talk exclusively about the positives, but Gintama doesn't get pushed in the algorithm because we don't talk constantly negatively about it, so there isn't a lot of debate. Most of us kind of generally go like, yeah, no, it was peak. So it's like, it doesn't get a lot of traction online, and you need negative, like either extreme positivity or extreme negativity to get any traction on these damn websites, because that's what gets interactions. So yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about why fandoms are the way that they are, or at least seem the way that they are from the outside. See you all tomorrow for the second to last daily December download.